If you want to buy a new pre-built PC that fits your budget, your needs, and achieves high FPS in your favorite game, whether that's an esports shooter like Fortnite or a high demanding one like Cyberpunk 2077, well, right now is a great time to buy because prices are lower than ever with some amazing discounts. If you don't have enough PC knowledge when buying a new gaming PC, trust me when I say you could get a terrible gaming experience for the price, because I see this happening all the time. For that reason, I will show you the best pre-built gaming PC deals for 1080p, 1440p and 4K resolution, all budgets included, and of course I will also show you the level of performance that you can get with each system by showing you the number of FPS, just in case you want to buy one of these, which by the way, the links to all of these gaming PCs will be down below in the video description for you to also check the latest pricing and availability. With that being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the cheapest one on the list, and this one is this Skytech Nebula from Amazon, and it's going for well under $1,000. This system has the RTX 4060 and the i5-13400F CPU. Now, if you are new to computers and you do not understand anything about them, don't worry, because I will try to explain everything as simply as possible. Now, I have tested this PC myself recently, and it's a 1080p monster. If you want to play at 1080p high FPS, even in high demanding games, this system is capable of playing any game at any setting that you want at 1080p, and in terms of FPS, you can achieve 90 plus FPS when it comes to 1080p in the most high demanding titles in high to ultra settings, and I'm talking about games like Starfield, Last of Us Part 1 and Cyberpunk 2077. And if you want to play high FPS esports like Fortnite for example, or let's say you want to play Valorant or CS2, then you can expect well over 240 plus FPS on average, possibly 360 plus FPS depending on the exact esports shooter and the settings. So if you want a 240Hz or even a 360Hz 1080p monitor and you do not want to spend anything over $1,000, this one is amazing right now, going for $847 when I'm recording this video. But remember that when you're watching this one, the price might be different, so I do recommend you checking the latest prices. And then you get a 1TB SSD and 16 gigs of RAM, which is the standard for gaming. Overall, an amazing system at this price point. And then if you want to jump up 1440p resolution, you can achieve 60 plus FPS in high demanding titles, and if you turn on DLSS, which is the upscaler from Nvidia, then you can expect around 70 to 90 FPS on average at 1440p on high to ultra settings. However, if you have a 1440p monitor and you want better performance, I recommend you getting the same Nebula, but this time from the Skytech website. So you buy directly from the manufacturer, and here you get the i5-12400F, which is very similar in terms of performance compared to the 13400F, and then you get the RTX 4070, which is much better than the RTX 4060 when it comes to your level of performance. The RTX 4070 is a 1440p graphics card that will allow you to play any game at 1440p on high to ultra settings, no issues, even with ray tracing on. But if you want to turn on ray tracing, I do recommend you turning on DLSS quality for you to achieve higher frame rates. Now, at 1440p resolution on the latest high demanding titles, you can expect over 100 FPS on average, meaning that you will get an amazing level of performance at 1440p native resolution with no DLSS on. And the price for this system is actually very decent, going for $1,250 at the moment, and it used to be $1,400, so you get $150 discount. And in my opinion, this is the best value 1440p gaming PC in this entire video. Then you get the same 16 gigs of RAM and 1TB SSD, which once again are the standard for gaming. And in terms of aesthetics, this system is the same as the last one, and in my opinion, it has a really cool RGB design. Now, if you want to play at higher frame rates at 1440p and you also want to do content creation on the side, I recommend you getting the HP Omen 40L with the i7-14700K, the RTX 4070 Super. Now, the RTX 4070 Super is slightly faster than the RTX 4070, and you can achieve 108 FPS on average at 1440p resolution in high to ultra settings in the most high demanding titles. And then you can also play at 4K if you want, but at that point, if you want to play the latest high demanding titles at 4K, I highly recommend you turning on DLSS for you to achieve around 70 to 90 plus FPS on average. But if you want to play easier to run games like GTA 5 or Fortnite, that's not going to be necessary. Talking about Fortnite, 1440p, with this system you can achieve more than 240 plus FPS. So if you want a 240Hz 1440p monitor, feel free to buy one, or even a 360Hz one if you have the budget to. And this i7 is much better than any other processor that I've mentioned so far, especially for content creation, 3D rendering and productivity work. So if you want to do gaming plus content creation, this is going to be the best value system for you in this entire list. And right now the price is actually great for this system. I've never seen it at this price point, so this is the lowest that I've seen for the 40L, going for $1,580. So under 1,600 bucks, and you are getting basically the best of the best for 1440p resolution, but not quite, because the best of the best has a better graphics card and faster CPU. And I'm talking about the O11 dynamic gaming system that right now is the best of the best for 1440p resolution, and you can play at 4K high to ultra settings with no issues in case you want to upgrade in the future. And on top of that, I have an extra coupon code for you in case you want a $200 extra discount on top of the original discount, but I will talk about that in a moment. Before going there, I want to say that this one is great when it comes to 1440p because you get the RTX 4070 Ti Super, which in my opinion is the best overall gaming graphics card for 1440p resolution, because you get 16 gigs of VRAM, meaning that is great for 1440p right now, but also for the future, and 4K resolution. And then the level of performance is just top tier. With this system, you can achieve over 120 FPS when it comes to the most high demanding games out there, native resolution, no DLSS on, and on top of that, in esports shooters, you are going to be able to average the highest FPS possible because you get the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which is the fastest CPU in the entire market when it comes to gaming. So with this one, you can average 540 plus FPS at 1080p in competitive settings. So you can buy a 540Hz 1080p monitor and you will be able to average well over 500 plus FPS as well at 1440p, depending on the esports shooter, of course, but in games like Fortnite or CS2 and even Valorant, you will be able to achieve very high frame rate. So again, you are getting the best of the best from your CPU and from your GPU if you want to play at 1440p. And if you want to upgrade to 4K down the line, well, you can expect 70 plus FPS, native resolution in high demanding game. And if you turn on DLSS, we are talking about 85 to 110 plus FPS on average, depending on the game that you want to play. The price for this system before the coupon code is $2,190 bucks. After you apply my coupon code, it's going to cost you $1,990, so right under 2,000 bucks. And yes, while it is not a cheap system, it is actually great in terms of rise to performance because of the components that you are getting. And on top of that, you get 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16 gigs of RAM, which makes it an amazing system if you want to do something like streaming. And then if you want to play at 4K on the ultra preset in high demanding games, I recommend you spending a bit more and getting the HP Omen 45L with the RTX 4080 Super. The RTX 4080 Super is faster than the 4070 Ti Super. However, if your monitor resolution is 1440p, the 4080 Super might be an overkill depending on the games that you play. So I do recommend you getting the O11 Dynamic, that's the case. But if you have a 4K monitor, this upgrade is actually going to make sense for you, because instead of an average of 70 plus FPS at 4K native, you can expect 85 plus FPS, which is quite a big difference considering we are talking about high demanding titles. And then with this system, you get an i7 14th gen processor, which is going to be better for content creation and productivity work compared to the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. So if you're interested in doing those type of workloads, this one is going to be a huge upgrade as well. Now this PC is going on an insane discount. To be honest, you save more than $700 right now, going for $2,290 bucks. Once again, not a cheap system, but if you have the budget to buy it and you want top tier performance at 4K and you also want to do content creation, and on top of that you do not want to spend anything over $3,000, because there are systems with the RTX 4090 that are much more expensive, which I will be talking about in a second. But if you do not want to spend that much on a gaming system, then this is going to be the perfect pre-built PC for you. However, I do recommend you upgrading the RAM from 16 gigs of RAM to 32 gigs, especially if you are a content creator. But if you are a gamer, 16 gigs of RAM is most likely going to be enough depending on the game that you want to play. With the next one, we have the upgraded version from the 40L, which is the Skytech Prism 3. This one has the same RTX 4080 Super, but this time you get the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, so you get a faster level of performance depending on the game that you play, and you get a 420 all-in-one liquid cooler, which is going to be amazing for future upgrades. And on top of that, this system is more future-proof because you are on the AM5 5 platform. That means that if down the line you want to upgrade to a newer CPU from AMD, you can upgrade without having to change your motherboard. And since you get a 420 liquid cooler, you can cool down any CPU no matter how beefy it's going to be. Then you get 32 gigs of RAM, so more memory than the Omen 40L, and you get 2 terabytes of SSD, so you get more storage in case you want to download more games. So overall, you get a more complete system for gaming in this one, and the price is going for $2,870, but I have a $300 coupon code that you can check down in the video description alongside the link to this system. So after applying that coupon code, checkout, the total price will be $2,570, so a very decent price for getting almost the best of the best for 4K resolution. Now, if you do want the best of the best and you have a lot of money to spend and you just want the best graphics card out there alongside the best CPU, then I do recommend you getting the next system, which is the Gaming Assure PC from Amazon. This one is one of the most expensive PCs out there, but you get the fastest CPU in the Ryzen 7 7800X3D once again. But this time you get the RTX 4090, which is the fastest graphics card in the market. So no matter the game that you want to play at 4K, this PC will be able to run it at the highest frame rates. You can expect 112 plus FPS when it comes to the most high demanding titles at 4K resolution, and I am talking about native resolution, so much better than any other graphics card when it comes to gaming and also when it comes to content creation and productivity work. And on top of that, you are getting the fastest ray tracing level of performance, so if you want to play with ray tracing enabled at 4K resolution, this one is also going to be the best. Then you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory and a 1TB Gen 4 SSD, and the total price is one of the most expensive systems in this list at $3,400, which is quite a lot of money. But as I said before, if you just want the best of the best and you are willing to spend a high amount of money, then I recommend you considering this one. But if you have even more money to spend, I recommend you getting the Eclipse 2 from the Skytech website, because you get basically the same components, so you get the same level of performance, but this time you get 2 terabytes of Gen 4 SSD, which is going to be ideal if you want to download more games. And then you get 64 gigs RAM and a Ryzen 9 processor instead of a Ryzen 7. So if you are looking for a more complete gaming system, I recommend you getting the Eclipse 2. Now this one is going for $4,140 by the time of filming this video, but after you apply my $500 coupon code that will be down in the description alongside this system, the price will be $3,640, which still makes it the most expensive system out there. But once again, if you just want the best of the best, I highly recommend you buying this one and spending the extra. However, if you go with the last one, with the Assure 2, you are going to be getting the best gaming performance as well. There's not going to be a difference when it comes to your FPS number, but the main difference is going to be in the storage and memory kit. And remember that the prices and availability might be different when you're watching this one, so I do recommend you checking the links down below in case you want to see the price and if you want to see if it's in stock or out of stock. So thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.